I'm noticing that you say we won the Heisman.
Yes.
I don't think you said I won the Heisman one time. Is that intentional? Like, do you notice you're saying that?
No, it's intentional, and I don't notice it anymore because I just made it a point since winning in 2011, because one of the most impactful things for me winning that Heisman was watching the reaction of the fans. Every time I watch the reaction video, you know, they compile all the videos and they put it on YouTube. It makes me get emotional because Baylor was a school that had been overlooked for such a long time. I remember when I first got to Baylor, and, you know, BU, Baylor University. I go to New York for something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe a track meet or something.
You say BU?
And I say BU, and they're like, Boston University? I'm like, are you serious right now? Boston University? Nothing against Boston University, but there wasn't a lack of identity there because there's such a long gap since Grant Taft was there and had so many great teams, and Mike Singletary was the linebacker for the Baylor Bears. So for me, you know, just to be able to do that and see the reaction of those fans, it let me know how much it meant to us. So that's why in the speech, I'm talking about we and us. I don't win the Heisman. Baylor doesn't win the Heisman if it's not for my teammates. You know, we had some games there. We almost lost to Kansas that year. Kansas was really bad that season. We're down 17 in the fourth quarter, and we had to come back and win. And if Terrence Reese, if Tevin Reese, my wide receiver, doesn't make a couple great plays down the field for us in that game, and Mike Hicks doesn't get an interception at the end of the game or knock the ball down,
we don't win the Heisman.
We don't win the Heisman. We don't win the Heisman because now we have 4 losses. So I feel like I understand all of that, and I know how much it means to the fan base, Baylor Nation, and that's what makes it so special. So I always say we won the Heisman because it was a collaborative effort, and I just know how much it meant to the school. Only Heisman in school history. It's different when you win a Heisman at Baylor than when you win it at Texas or you win it at Alabama or Ohio State or wherever. So
it's funny. I was preparing for this conversation last night, talking to one of the guys that helps me with all my content, and he brought up, he's like, RG3 changed the trajectory of the Baylor program. Like, it would not be what it is today if you hadn't gone there. And it's funny because I kind of forgot like how bad Baylor was before you went there, and until we looked at it, and really right after you left, they make the massive investment in the new facility, and I really do feel like you completely, if it wasn't for you, that program wouldn't be where it is today. Do you ever, I know it's a big statement, but do you ever notice, do you ever think about that or notice it, or has it ever, to me, I know you're humble and like you won't say that you changed it, but it's cool because you also made an impact on all these players that play there now who have much more pride in playing at Baylor than they used to.
You have no idea, like, you're right. I will never say that.
So I said,
I was blessed to be able to watch Baylor go from what it was to what it is while I was at the university. So when we first get there, you talk about having pride in where you play. No one wanted to say they played for the Baylor football team. Nobody. So Coach made these shirts for us, and it was Kaz Kazadi. He made these shirts, and it said, "I play for BU." They were black shirts, cool-looking shirts with the Baylor logo on it. And he said, "You guys got to wear these. You're going to wear these to school, to wear these to class at least once a week." So everybody's wearing them to class once a week. You know, teachers are laughing. You know, students are, they play for Baylor. You know, this team had just lost the previous year. I was watching it on TV. They lost to Oklahoma State, I think, like 79-14 or something. Like, just an unbelievable score. So I got it. But I got to watch the school go from, like, you know, football being talked about bad to being praised. I would go into class when I was a freshman, and the teachers, the professors, would make fun of the football team. They would make fun of the football team in the class. And I'm like, what is going on here? I come from Copperas Cove, Texas, where football's king. Pride. A lot of pride. Everybody loves the football team. They support the team. Whereas the direct opposite at Baylor at this time. But we went from working out at Floyd Casey, which you know now does not exist. That stadium's gone. We were working out there. That's 20 minutes away from campus. So you're driving all the way across Waco to go work out in the mornings. Driving all the way back across campus to have to go to class. Went from that to getting an on-campus facility to getting an on-campus stadium. And I never played in that stadium, but I think it was unveiled maybe 2 years after I was done. They knocked down Floyd Casey. But I got to watch the support for the program grow, the teachers and the students have pride in the football team again. I got to watch the facilities improve, and not everybody gets that. A lot of times it's like right after you leave, then everything starts to come in. Most of the stuff came in while I was still there, and I was grateful for it because, one, I didn't have to burn all that gas going all the way across the city and coming back every time. But at the same time, we saw our level rise. And, you know, as you know, in any football program, the more money you put into the program, typically the better the results that you can get. And Baylor had to start doing that, and they did. So I'm thankful to every coach I've had, every teammate I've had. You know, there's guys that I got hurt my second year in college, and there's guys on that team that I felt, you know, they deserved to go to a bowl game. We didn't actually break that bowl drought till my redshirt sophomore year. But guys like Jordan Lake, who was a safety that we had, Joe Pavelik was a linebacker that we had, J.D. Walton was my center. Those guys deserved to go to a bowl game, and they didn't get that, but we wouldn't have been able to go to a bowl game. Baylor wouldn't be where it's at without those guys. We don't win the Heisman without those guys, because I learned so much from them, and they help prop us up. Those are really talented players. All of them played in the NFL. I look back on the time at Baylor, and I understand the magnitude of what we did, but I also know it was more than just me.